You all had the audacity to survive so that I may be here in all my privilege. So why in the hell am I going to work my fingers to the bone in the same way that my granddaddy did, or the same way that my grandmother did? Why would I do that? To me, that's slapping my ancestors in the face. What's good, beautiful people? Welcome back to Living in Alignment, the podcast where we explore the journey of reconnecting with our authentic selves while navigating this fast-paced world. I'm your host, Janasia, or Janasia B. I go by both. This is a safe space where authenticity reigns and vulnerability is celebrated. Together, we'll rewrite narratives, challenge the status quo, and learn to dance to the beat of our own drums. We'll navigate the journey of reconditioning, deconditioning, shedding the layers of societal expectations, and rediscovering the unique blueprints that makes you, well, you. So grab your favorite drink, find a comfortable spot, and let's get to it. I was listening to a podcast today that talked about hustle culture. Specifically, the name of the podcast is Picky Girl Travels the World by Adelia Borshade, I think is how you say her name. And she had another young lady on the show. One of the things that they kept saying is that hustle culture is a lie. The artist, the guest, was like, basically hustling is a slap in the face to our ancestors. And I'm like, girl, yes, to affinity and beyond, right? So this is something that I've said to my mother since I graduated with my master's. Why am I working so hard? I watched you work hard. I watched grandma work hard. I watched granddaddy work hard. I watched my big nana work hard. My nana work hard. My poppy. I watched my elders work so hard to get only half of what white people have. Our white counterparts have. Why am I working so hard? To me, it's like you all struggled and you all hustled and you all sacrificed. You all had the audacity to survive so that I may be here in all my privilege. So why in the hell am I going to work my fingers to the bone in the same way that my granddaddy did, or the same way that my grandmother did? Why would I do that? To me, that's slapping my ancestors in the face. It really is. Like, this is something that I've been saying. I said this at 23. I remember it so vividly. That was when I always knew I was different, but in that moment, I was like, yo, I'm really different. Because at that point, I wanted to opt out of the Matrix. I found an article that I wrote back when I first graduated from undergrad. I had just moved to PA and I was getting my master's at the time. I was experiencing so many different emotions. Oh my goodness. And at that time, I was battling with my blackness and I was just feeling inadequate. I didn't feel that I deserved to be there. I had started putting my master's degree on my resume and applying to jobs because I needed to make money, and I wasn't getting no bites. Meanwhile, I'm in class. I think it was only 2 black girls in the entire program, and in most of my classes, I was the only black woman in the program or in the classes. All the white girls are in class, and they're talking about all these PR jobs that they got, and I'm just sitting there like, well, how did you get a job, and what did you do? And I'm just talking to them about it, and they were very helpful. They told me all of the things to do, and I'm taking all of their advice. They're sending me their resumes, and they're like, this is my resume. Try to do it like this. And it was not working. I felt discouraged. I felt discouraged. I remember sitting on my bathroom floor, crying my heart out, and I wrote a blog at the time. So I'm going to read you a small portion of what I wrote. With each passing day, I felt the light dim within me, and I was just tired of it. I wanted to take back a piece of my soul before I had nothing left to offer. Well, Janasia, you got to do what you got to do to pay your bills. Life should not be about bills. Life should not be about working for someone who does not even care to know how to pronounce your name correctly. When will it be enough? When will I, as a black woman, get my slice of the damn pie? When will we, as a people, say enough is enough? When will I stop having to change my name on my resume to make other people comfortable? When will we stop telling our children to shuck and jive? Mike Sharp Walker, a celebrity barber, said this to me, and although it was cliche, it rings truth today. Stop looking to a system that was not built for you to bring you the opportunities that you need to be successful. I love my granddaddy with all my heart. I'm even shedding tears while I write this, but I cannot continue to subject myself to this kind of unhappiness. All my life, I have been told to attend school because education would be the leverage I needed to make it into the door. All my life, I've been told that black people get a rope while white people get ladders. All my life, my grandfather has kept it real with me. He said, Janasia, you are a woman and you are black. You must work twice, hell, maybe even 3 times as hard to get half of what they got. But why? When will I just be enough? Y'all, I really wrote that. Oh my goodness, like the tears that are swelling in my eyes right now because I still feel like that today. So I'm gonna keep it real. There are jobs that we are working right now that don't deserve us, our energy, our talent, and we are really just working to afford our lives. We're really not enjoying our lives. To be frank, we have been bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, because we've been told that the American dream is to be able to afford a big luxurious house and a Beamer or whatever fancy car, and that's just supposed to be enough. And it's not. I live in the DMV area and I see plenty of black people drive fancy cars and live in big, beautiful houses, but they're fucking miserable. And I get it. We want the same luxuries, or what has been taught or told to us that luxury is. I get that. And I'm not judging anybody who wants those luxuries. But my question is, do we want the luxuries because that's what we truly want? Or do we want the luxuries because that's what we are told, or that's what we are taught, or that's what we are shown? And I want to be clear, because I think black people as a whole, and this is just my personal opinion, I think we want the luxuries, the nice cars, the nice clothes, the fancy houses. We want those things because we've been deprived of said luxuries for 400 plus years. We have been the ones working in the field while we watched our white counterparts enjoy the fruits of our labor. Essentially, with us being 400 plus years behind, we're like, no, now we get to enjoy the fruits of our labor. I deserve to have this house. I deserve to have this car. I deserve to have this purse. I deserve to have fill in the blank there. I understand, and I actually agree with this thought. I think my issue with this country in particular is this bootstrap narrative that has been perpetuated throughout society, and it's emphatically incorrect. As we all know, America, the system, is a bully, a rapist, a kidnapper, fill in the blanks, because I can go on, that thrives off the backs of poor melanated people, while simultaneously telling us that basic human liberties are luxuries. But I want to note, safety is not a luxury. Fair housing is not a luxury. Quality housing is not a luxury. Bare necessities are not a luxury. Quality food is not a luxury. But in this country in particular, all of these bare necessities are considered luxuries. But if you go to other places like Italy, for example, having access to quality housing, quality food, quality medical is a basic human right. America has played in our face so much and has proved to us that they are not for us. However, when you are indoctrinated so deep into a system, it's hard to free yourself. But what if we rebuke all of this? What if we say no? What if we decide that we want our happiness, our peace, our joy right now? The American dream tells us to work for 60 years, 65, hell, I think they moved it to 70, I'm not sure, but they tell us to work until we're old so that we can enjoy our lives then. That path takes the most precious years from us. It's when we have the most energy. It's when we're the most imaginative. It's when we have our spark. And then we work for 60 years and we keep getting beat on and beat on and beat on. And next thing you know, that light that was burning within us, it dies. The person that we were when we came out of our mother's womb is not the person who we end up being at the end. Our ancestors will want us to rest. Our ancestors will want us to enjoy our lives right now rather than waiting until 60 years later when we don't even have the energy. Or let's be quite frank, we may not even be alive to enjoy it because our Black men are not making it to the 60s and the 65s and the 70s. So let's enjoy our lives now. Let's be our ancestors' wildest dreams right now, not later. I also want to make sure I note this because I think it's extremely important, especially for Black women who were the first of many, whether that's the first to go to college, the first to make six figures, the first to purchase a house, the first to be a millionaire, the first to make seven figures, whatever the case may be. The expectation is to work our asses off. And if we decide to rest, we're being irresponsible. I implore you to dig a little bit deeper, right? Is this notion to work extremely hard, to overexert ourselves, is this perspective remnants of slavery? Rashida Doe said it best. I'm not even going to attempt to take credit. We are essentially working to make someone else rich. So when you think of it from that perspective, you really have to ask yourself, what the hell am I working so hard for? And if I were to die in a week, would I be satisfied? Would I be content? Would I be happy with the life that I led? And a lot of us wouldn't be happy because we've been working so hard to get to a point, and then once we get to said point, we feel like we have to move on to something else, and then we feel like we have to move on to something else, but we're not really taking a moment to be mindful, to be present, and to bask in the glory of everything that makes us us, everything that is us. America has us thinking that we are production machines and that our worth is attached to what we produce, and if we are not producing, then we are worthless. And I implore you to really take a step back and understand that America is the devil and the devil is a lie. You are a human being, and just your presence, your essence, your energy is a gift to this universe. And I understand that America may tell us that our value is in what we produce, and if we are not producing, then we're worthless, but it's not true. My question for you is, what would it be like if you just didn't work? Like, what would that look like? How would you feel? How would your body feel? And when I say not work, I don't mean just sit around and be lazy. But if you did the thing that you truly wanted to do, or if you just sat in the bed for 2 hours out the day and then got up whenever it is that you felt, whenever your body was energized and revitalized enough to get up, what would that look like? How would that feel? Essentially, beloved, you are not born to be a tool for capitalism, period, point blank. Hey there, I know you're busy listening to the show, but I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate you. Out of all the podcasts out there in podcast land, you decided to listen to me, and I just want to say thank you, boo. Living in alignment is not easy, and while this is a labor of love, it is labor nonetheless. So if you want to donate to the show, you can always cash app us. This episode is sponsored by Alignment Home and Lifestyle, a wellness brand dedicated to empowering people to stop existing and start living by reconnecting with who they truly are. With spiritual energy healing journals along with sacred spaces, we are dedicated to helping you return to your truest form. Cheers to recognizing your power and making the shift. Cheers to saying fuck it, I let that shit go, and cheers to reconnecting with you. Before I end this podcast, I really want you all to think about who you are working hard for. Why are you working hard? Are you enjoying your life? Are you living or are you existing? What does your dream life even look like? And how can you bring that into fruition? How can you live your life now, not later? So I'm not gonna lie to y'all, your girl was in therapy. I love my therapist, Monica. And she always brings me back to center. Something that we've been talking about is the life that I want to live. And she tells me all the time, you have conflicting thoughts. On one end, you're saying that you want all of these luxuries, the Louis bags, the Mercedes-Benz cars, the this, that, the other. But then on the other hand, you say that you want to just be and you want to travel and you don't want to exist, but you want to live. And it brings me back to what I said earlier about capitalism and how we were raised by capitalism and how capitalism says that we should want fill in the blank. You really get in tune with your soul, with your spirit, and you say spirit, and spirit's gonna say and you're gonna say what is it that you want, and your spirit is gonna tell you what it wants. It's gonna guide you, it's gonna lead you to what it is that you really want. But I think a lot of us have been so disconnected from who we truly are because we've been in our get it girl get it. We've been in our bags, we've been in hustle mode. So we really haven't had the opportunity to sit with ourselves, because in our minds it's like, well, I got bills to pay, and sitting around for shits and giggles having a conversation with my spirit is not going to pay these bills, right? But although it's not going to pay the bills, it does allow you to reconnect with your happiness. It does allow you to reconnect with what brings you joy. So for myself, one of the things that I just was saying in therapy was the life that I want to lead, it does involve exploration. Child, if it was up to me, I would be like Evie on The Mummy, or I would be like Indiana Jones, or hell, Eliza Thornberry. And Monica, my therapist, says, oh, so why can't you do that? Why can't you do that? This is what you want. This is what you want, not what society said that you should want, but this is actually what you want. So why can't you have that? And then I expressed to her that I feel like I'm a little bit behind because I'll be 30 this year, and I don't feel like I have all of the things that I should have. I haven't acquired the house, the car, the husband, this, that, and the other. I feel pressure. I feel a lot of pressure, and I'll talk about that more than likely in another podcast. But Monica keeps saying to me, the life that you want your joy now. You want to experience your life now. You want to be your ancestors' wildest dreams now, not later. So what Keisha down the street is doing is going to be different than what you're doing. How her life appears is going to be different from how your life appears. She has bought into the idea of the house, the cars, the kids, the dog, the this, the that, and the other, and enjoying her pension and her retirement at 60. Whereas you like, I don't give a fuck about that. I want to enjoy it now because I may not be here tomorrow. So it's going to look different. I don't know if y'all know this, but I am an educator at heart. And in true educator fashion, of course, education is not just about depositing information, but about extracting as well. So I have an exercise for y'all. I know. Who do I think I am, right? Let's get out our pieces of paper. We're about to be in our divine masculine energy right now. I want you to be very discerning about what type of lifestyle you want to live. Then I want you to think about the options that you have to make money, right? And make sure that said options are conducive to the lifestyle that you want to have in the future or right now. Now make sure you're writing this down. That's the purpose of the piece of paper, because you need to see it. I think Erykah Badu said it best. Write it down with a real pencil or pen on real paper and watch shit get real. That's what we doing right now. So we already wrote down what type of life it is that we want to live. Okay. Then we wrote down what type of jobs that are going to be conducive to said lifestyle that we want to live. Now, when you think about this, think about it in depth. If you have children and your kids are of age where they're doing all types of activities, do you want to be present for that? If you are single, right, do you want to be tied to one particular location? Are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? How do you learn? What is your learning style? What is your form of communication? Think about all of this, because then you can determine what is going to work for you. Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? What is your personality type? If you're an introvert, you want a job or a career that involves you having to talk to people all the goddamn time. So anything to do with the telephone, child, take it out, okay? Anything that's to do with probably project management, take it out. Be real about what works for you and what doesn't, because a job is supposed to suit you. Your career is supposed to suit your lifestyle, not the other way around. All right. Then, once you think about that, think about what type of climate you like. Do you like tropical? Do you like cold? Do you like all of the seasons? Are you a woman? You have to think about, is this place healthy for Black people, melanated people? Is this place healthy for the LGBTQIA plus community? These are the things that you have to think about when you're thinking about your life and your lifestyle and really just being honest. For example, as a woman, I want to be in a place that is healthy and conducive to my mental, emotional, and spiritual health. I also want to be in a place that celebrates and appreciates melanated skin. As a very spiritual woman, I want to find a spiritual community. I like warm weather, but I also like the seasons. Quality food is important to me, so somewhere like Italy. Community is important to me as well. Water is my element, so I would love to be around that. And I also want to be somewhere where it's very walkable. And if that doesn't work, write down the things that you don't like. Whatever your method, write it down and watch shit get real. Because once you write that shit down, you're gonna be like, damn, this life that I'm living right now was not conducive to my mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Good God. So write it down. Let me know how it goes, y'all. And remember, our ancestors' wildest dreams was probably to take a fucking nap. Our ancestors' wildest dreams was probably to goddamn rest. So don't be afraid to take a step back and rest. Love, peace, and high vibrations.